Receive instant notification each time I upload. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart Perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
Well, hello and welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and tonight we're asking a question and I have an answer. It's treason or politics? The truth about Obama, Trump, and the 2016 Russian intel. So I had an opportunity to sit with some friends and colleagues today on one of their podcasts. Actually, it was a really nice radio show. And the conversation came up, or the topic came up with this very thing in mind. I don't know if a lot of people understand or feel, let me just lay it like that. I want to know if you feel like I feel based on what I'm about to share with you with this commentary that we're about to go into. And the way that I see it is I prefer for us to, put our efforts and energies elsewhere as a country. And, and I just don't feel like right now we should be dealing with any of the stuff that we're dealing with. I think it's all a distraction, and that's just my personal opinion. But with that in mind, we do have some information that I'm going to lay out there to make my case, right? I'm going to tell you what I think and why I feel the way that I do, that I think that this is much ado about nothing and that nothing will come of it. If something comes of it, I'd be shocked. But I don't see anybody getting arrested. I just don't, because, well, unlike the situation that we had where Trump had gotten arrested with that stupidity that they did with him, which I thought was all stupid. I didn't agree with any of that. I just thought that it was political theater. I thought that they were, grasping at straws. I felt as if not only were they grasping at straws, but that they were trying to make something out of nothing just for us to have something to be distracted by. And that's exactly what I feel like right now. I feel like we are being put out there to have a distraction. I believe it's a distraction when you consider the fact that we just got through giving the go ahead and a nod and a thumbs up to give more aid and assistance to Ukraine, even after the president, when he was president-elect, said that wasn't something that he was interested in doing, and that within 24 hours of him taking office, he was confident that it would be over with. I feel like what happened to that mindset? I'm not really happy with us continuously funding what's going on in the Middle East right now. I don't think that we should be funding it. I don't think that we should have gone and did what we did with regards to our people flying overhead in Iran and doing what we did there. I don't think that there's enough being done. If we're going to dig our fingers and noses in other people's business, I don't think that there's enough answers to questions like, why aren't the children being fed in Palestine? I don't think there's enough answers and, questions being posed to and answers being given to things like, why are these people being bombed in places that are really where civilians are? Or if there's any more civilian land left, why are we attacking? Why are we allowing these people to be attacked the way that we are? I think that there's a lot being done right now to give distraction and to give way to confusion, so that nobody has to answer the hard questions. And that right there is why I'm focused on answering this question, so that at least from my standpoint, I've given a reason why we need to move forward and not deal with any more of the shenanigans that they've got going on and wanting us to focus on. I believe that it's quite orchestrated. And I believe that if we don't be careful, we're going to find ourselves running with the same set of bulls that they have for us to run with. We're literally picking up the gauntlet and not asking the important questions. So here we go. So did Obama commit treason? I'm going to give you guys my clear look at what was known and when. Please let's remember while I am sharing my thoughts with you that this is the same president who was in office once before. Now that recent headlines and allegations against former President Barack Obama regarding his administration's role in the 2016 Russia election narrative have resurfaced, some claim newly declassified documents reveal evidence of a conspiracy to frame Donald Trump, while others argue this is political theater built on intel. So, what's actually the truth? Was the evidence already available? Yeah, it was. The core intelligence was already available to the Trump administration during his first term, circa 2017 through 21. This includes FBI documents, internal communications, as well as the assessments from the intelligence community about Russia's interference in 2016's election. What's new in 2025 is that Tulsi Gabbard, now serving as the Director of National Intelligence, or the DNI, declassified and reframed that information under a political charged lens. She described it as a treasonous conspiracy, accusing Obama's administration of weaponizing intelligence. However, the underlying materials were already accessible to the executive branch under Trump. Nothing newly discovered here. The political interpretation is what has changed, not the content. Now, we already knew that what happened could be considered treasonous, could be considered. We already knew that what happened could be considered very foul and that it shouldn't have happened. Everybody and their mama knows that. But is the information something new? Was the information available then? I want everybody to focus on that, because the question then becomes, well, if she's doing this now, could Trump have declassified this back then? Yeah, absolutely. As the president, Donald Trump had full legal authority to declassify the national security materials at any time under the Executive Order 13526. He could have directed any one of the DNIs that he had, because remember, he had Dan Coates, Richard Grenell, or he also had John Ratcliffe. He could have told any one of those to do it. He could have said to any one of them to investigate and release the intelligence about Obama's alleged wrongdoing. In fact, Grenell and Ratcliffe did declassify some Obama-era material in 2020. However, there was no criminal case or formal charge against Obama that had ever emerged from those releases. Please understand that with the same exact intensity that we are now supposed to pursue this person that we already knew was corrupt, we're now being asked to exact that emotion now. Okay, now we're being asked to push that narrative. It's the same cat. Ain't nothing changed. So if Trump believed that Obama truly did commit treason during the 2016 election, he had both the power as well as the opportunity to pursue it during his first term, but he did not. He did not. So now somebody would say, well, wait a minute now. That's because Tulsi Gabbard, she's on her job. She's on her job. She's really out there, trying to make sure that everything is right, everything is fair. And so that's the reason why, she's on it. She's out to get him. You know what I'm saying? So now that's why. So now you have everybody saying, okay, well, maybe that's the reason why it didn't take place then, because the people that he had before, they were not as proactive as she is. That ain't how this works. Because the DNI does not work independently of the president at all. The Director of National Intelligence is a part of the executive branch, and they report directly to the president. So while the DNI manages and coordinates the United States intelligence community, they do not act fully independently, especially in politically sensitive matters. And let me tell you something. When it comes to declassifying materials, launching politically risky investigations, or publicly accusing any former officials of crimes, that rarely happens without the explicit or the implicit backing of the president. For example, that 2020 situation that I mentioned to you, Grinnell and Ratcliffe declassified intelligence in alignment with Trump's messaging. In 2025, Tulsi Gabbard's declassifications follow Trump's return to power. So while the DNI has operational autonomy, their strategic direction is often set by the White House. It's generally set by the White House. They don't act independently. They don't just jump out and do something on their own. There's no way. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the character of Trump, you'll realize that the way that he rocks is he sort of throws his rocks and hides his hands, or he'll get other people to do his bidding. Like any good leader is going to do that. They're going to hire individuals who know how to do things that they want done a certain way. Okay? But trust and believe, this dude's not allowing anybody to have any autonomy on their own. One thing I loved about Trump in the very beginning, when I first voted for him back in 2016, one of the things that I loved about him prior to him even running was that he understood the traits of an exceptional leader to get things done. He always hired people out there in the world, the business world, that were the top notch and the best at what they did. I so admired that about him. When he needed to hire somebody, he went out, he sought the individual, he looked at their work, he understood what they did. Once he was done, he knew he put the right person in place. He was exceptional at that, and he still is. But the one thing he's not going to do is allow somebody else to run shots over him. As soon as that individual were to start to do, start to do something like that, he's going to get rid of that person. He is going to get rid of that person. He is not about to sit there and let that person do him. He's not. So now, again, they don't work independently. They don't, because they're a part of the executive branch. All right? So they don't do that. So far, there has not been any prosecutor, federal or state, that has brought any formal charges against Barack Obama for anything related to the 2016 election. And there are some legal experts that do say the term treason has a specific and narrow constitutional definition, and it does not apply to interagency intelligence handling or political decisions, even if they're questionable, right? Even if they're questionable. But in short, there is no new smoking gun. There's nothing that's new. Just old files, newly repackaged, and then they're having this nice political effect to make everybody, oh, look over there, shiny, bright and shiny. Everything is bright and shiny over there to the corner. So that's the effect in 2025. So my whole thing is, yes, Trump could have released all of this during his first term. If he truly believed that a crime had occurred, he had authority to order his then DNI to investigate, declassify, as well as pursue legal action. The fact that it's happening right now, to me and my impression, instead, just suggests the timing and optics. That's all. There's no new evidence. There's no new evidence. It's just timing and optics that are driving the whole current situation that we're looking at right now. That's exactly it. And so I wanted to make sure that I shared that, because the problem that I had tonight was that people didn't get that one little piece. That there is an executive order that's already been in place, and that clearly says, hey, he has the right to, declassify anything. He has the right to do all of these things. So my question is to everybody that's here right now, do you think, based on the fact that he could have declassified this information really when it counted, okay, do you think that the fact that he didn't do it really does sort of tilt the scales a little bit to say, maybe he's just doing it to have something to, I don't know, distract the masses? Do you think? Just a wee bit? Could it have been? Could it be? Sure. Sure it could. Sure it could. I'm waiting for you guys to give me your response. I want to know exactly what you think. What do you think? Do you think that this is something that he could have taken care of back then? Or do you think that this is something that is brand new, fresh, and just, oh my God, she's just amazing. Look at what she's done. Boy, that Tulsi, I tell you, she is, whew, she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. You're absolutely, she's just, this lady is stunning. Oh, she's on her game. She's a bulldog, I tell you. No, she's not. She's doing her job. She's doing what she's told. She would have never, ever, ever, ever just set out on her own, just put her oars in the water by herself and just set sail to do what she's doing right now. No way. No way. That's just the way that it is. So in order for me to really be okay with the whole entire circumstance and situation, I would have to have cheered and wanted him to do exactly what he said after I sat there and voted and pushed for him in 2016. I would have appreciated it if he had known that this stuff could have been unveiled, or if he had known, which he did, that he could unveil and pull all of this stuff out, that it could have been revealed. Now, listen, do not think for one second that Obama did anything by himself. You had a whole set of greedy, evil, wicked people working with him at that time. And these things are not something that's, oh my God, listen to what she says. I'm telling you the truth. It was a whole lot of dirt bags working with him at that time. This is not just an Obama situation. This is a regime situation. It's the whole lot of them. I hope you understand that it's the lot of them. It's not just that dude. It's all of them. Yeah, it's that part. It's all of them. So before anybody starts to cherry pick and say, oh, well, it's just the way she's looking at it, it's just this or that. No, I'm not looking at it like anything. What I'm looking at it is what is the truth, what is fair, what is balanced, what is equitable. I was very vocal during the Biden administration as well. Things that are wrong. If it's right, it's right. If it's questionable, I'm going to question it. And so we have to look at this situation basically for what it is. This is theater. The thespians have arrived, my friend. All of them. Isn't it rich? Isn't it grand? Everybody. Come out on stage again. Everybody. Christina, go get your brother. Everybody come. Everybody get on the stage. Because that's what this is. And so my job is to snap you out of it. Because once you start riding the train and you start thinking, oh my God, he's on to something. He's on to something. She's on to something. There's a smoking gun. There it is. Oh my God, there it is. Dude, they're only recirculating the same air that's been in the cabin for the past 9 years. This, don't forget, is 2025. This is 2025. And if most of us don't even like our loved ones or our person that we're in our relationship with to remind us of ish that we did 2-3 years ago, let alone 9 years ago. Because if you stayed in the game, then you must not have much to say. You was in the game in 2016. You must have liked it. If you was in the game in 2016 and you did not challenge any of the referees' calls in 2016, why should I back you now? Y'all ain't talking to me. I'm trying to let you know this is a game. And let me tell you something. Until we realize that there is a delineated line between them and us, we're still going to always find somebody to side with. Wrong is wrong. What they did when they were putting him out there, and by him, I mean Trump, when they were chasing him down, having all of these black AGs, all of these women from Fani Willis, all the way to the other chick in New York, and all of these district attorneys and all these other people that was going after him, we all knew that was wrong. And I spoke against that then. It was wrong. Was it political theater? Yes. Was it wrong? Of course. Were they wrong for doing it? Yes. Were they paid? I don't know. But it's all a part of the same pot of trash. You cannot take this and clean it out and make it healthy soup. It's just not going to work. This stuff is what it is. This is sewage water with carrots, a couple of turnips. You know, you look in the pot, you think, oh, well, I could eat this. This is edible. I love turnips. Okay. I love kale. There's a little kale in the pot here, some carrots in there, some onions. Yeah, but man, that's sewer water that is floating around, and that is not chicken broth. It's not even, it's not beef broth. It's none of that. It's trash. So none of these things, because it's being done by somebody else, makes it any better. If we're not willing to look at the stuff and say bad is bad, good is good, wrong is wrong, right is right, no matter who's doing it, then we are a part of the problem. And that's what I submit to you today, is that we're looking at a damn near 9-year-old incident that should have been taken care of because the evidence was there then. Ain't nothing new in this situation. He was not bound by any, unimaginable cloaked hand of justice that said that he could not go in and do this. This is what he could have done. He has that authority. He had that authority then. And it's amazing to me when I see people even running around this damn conversation, just going in circles with this conversation. They just running in circles. Oh my God. Well, you know what? I want justice. I want justice. Yeah, everybody wants justice, but ain't nobody having justice for what I said the other day. I'm not hearing any of the injustices that is against the people who really cannot defend themselves, and that's the babies. I'm not hearing nobody challenge nothing like that. I'm hearing everybody want to deal with the adults of the circumstance, and there's no resolve. There is no resolve to the adults that they're looking for. You're looking for a file. You're looking for a list. For all we know, it could be a damn black book. It may not even be a list. It could be a black book. Okay. But here we are running. Yeah, we're running. We're running. And we're traipsing after every new thing that they want to throw in our direction. You see? That's what we're doing. Every time there's something new that they throw us a new bone and we're like, oh my God, what flavor is this bone? I don't know. What kind of flavor is this? I don't know what kind of flavor. This tastes pretty different, doesn't it? Somebody else has the audacity to say, no, actually, it tastes just like the last bone we had. Look at her. She's wrong. Look at him. They will tell you you are wrong because you're telling them, no, honestly, this is smells like the same. Smells the same. It all smells the same. We need to stand up for the crap that we know we need to stand up for. This right here is not it. I don't really give two rips. I mean, I was one of my good friends who were sitting there. We were all on the same podcast together. And I'm thinking to myself, I must be the only person that sees this way. Because to me, I'm not a fan of any of these individuals. So my thing is, why aren't we examining this with the lens that is the law? Why aren't we just taking the lens that is the law and then, placing this lens over this whole entire, body of land, as it were, take this lens and then just set the law on it and then use it as a schematic to locate what is wrong. Why is it that we're not doing that? Because if we do that, then we are fair, then we're balanced, then we're equitable. Now everybody is good. Everybody's made whole. When you say, hey, this man had the right to do this then. Now he waits darn near 9 years later to utilize this information that was at his disposal then? Really? We do? This is how we work this. So with that in mind, I say the answer is most emphatically, whether or not it's treason, whether or not they have something else that he's done based on whatever, I don't know. But stranger things have happened. And then I have another question for the people who are always running around here. Whenever I read some of my comments, especially on BitChute, I get all these questions and statements all the time. Well, that person's not alive. Well, that person was gone this year. Well, you're so stupid that you're even talking about Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton was gone back in such and such. Okay, so wait a minute. If that's what you guys all think, why is this even a thing then? Y'all should be the most calm people on the planet. because you guys already have your unadulterated truth, right? This is your truth. Your truth is that that happened to her or that happened to whomever, and that they're no longer, and that we're looking at, doubles or whatever, and that he's gone as well. So the whole Obama situation. So which is it? I hope you guys are hearing me. Hit that like button for me, please. Hit that like button. I hope you guys are hearing me. Because the questions, these are hard questions that you need to ask these people when they're coming in your face, you guys, and they're telling you things like, well, that person's not even around, or that person's this and that. Oh, you just stupid. You still believe that. And then they, at the same time, I hope they get Obama. Dude, which is it? Do you believe in Oz or not? You're just like, which is it? Is it the tooth fairy for you? Is it the tooth fairy that does it for you, or is it Santa? Who is it? Which one does it for you? Which one tickles your fancy? Right? You want to ask those questions. It's like, which one does it for you? What does get you off? You remember that old group back in the day called Foxy? Yeah, what gets you off? What gets you off? Yeah, what gets you high? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel good, baby? Tell me about it. Okay? Because here's the thing. Knowing any of the things that we know right now have not put an extra chicken in your freezer. And if you don't eat chickens, they have not purchased or gotten yourself another cabbage. There ain't another cabbage, not another chicken in your freezer. You don't have an extra gallon of milk based on the information. None of the stuff that we're flipping and tripping out on and arguing with one another over has done anything to give us anything extra in our daily lives. Not one thing. All it's done is given us a little bit more angst, and it's caused some agita, and it's caused divisiveness between our loved ones and ourselves, our friends that we could, they could call us and get $5 for lunch if they were short. Now they can't. That's all it's done. It's gotten rid of, it just cleared the room. It's completely cleared the room. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand? It has not done anything else to assist you or to help you in your daily life. And so that's where I come in. I come in to get you back to the center, to help you understand that even though the things that happened in 2016 were deplorably nasty, they were rude, that was disrespectful, it was unheard, it was unconscionable, but it wasn't all that dude, letter A, and B, the cat that's pushing the buttons right now, which I don't think it is him. That's just my, conspiratorial mind. He had the opportunity to do it then. Okay? He had the opportunity to do it then. He had the opportunity to do it then, and he didn't. Mods, please check the chat for me. Please check the chat for me. Hello to all my mods. Hey, Charlie Sigler, Daryl Calhoun. How you doing? Good to see you guys. Betty R. Hey, Sandy. How's it going? How's it going? It's good to see you, Sandy. It's good to see my brother, Charlie Sigler. We got to get you guys back together because I really would love to see if we can have another challenge. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. Solemn Peace, how you doing? I did look into what you requested me to look into. I think it was you that asked me to look into something, and I did. And I'm looking into a little bit more because I found something that you gave me, and then I had to do a deeper dive. So I'm digging a little bit more on it, but thank you for giving that to me. Okay. All right. So yeah, I just don't want any of us to get caught up in that, into that stuff. Okay, I just don't. I don't want us to get caught up in any of that stuff, because if we get caught up into that, we're not going to be able to see what's happening. I keep telling everybody to remember that there was this nice little agreement that was supposed to have been made with oh gosh, where is it? Let me look for it. I'll find it for you guys. But it was Trump, and it was also the dude that he thinks he can trust when he really can't. And so now we're looking at, okay, so what happened? What happened? Why is it that now things are a little, weird? Why are things weird right now? What part did you miss? And I'm going to play it for you guys right here. Only 4 minutes. How many minutes is this? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it, and then when I begin to deviate a little bit, because after we're done with my commentary, we generally will, vent off, veer off. Let's talk about this. I really do, because of the fact that this is where our eyes really should be going. We shouldn't be tripping on this. What we need to be looking at is, how come this cat is able to renege on a deal? Because he can, because he doesn't care, because he's using whomever he wants to use to get wherever he can get. That's what he's doing. He's using whomever he can to do what he wants to do. And he doesn't care about it. There's no loyalty with the guy over there across the pond. There isn't. There isn't. And don't forget, the cat is still being, talked to about being guilty of some stuff. So let me go ahead and put this on for you guys so we can talk about this, because this is where our eyes need to be looking at. It's the Trump and Netanyahu plan that has unraveled. That's what we're talking about on this video. But this right here was supposed to bring about some type of, I don't know, calm. But we knew it wouldn't. Just like when we heard about the very first ceasefire, when Trump was like, see what I did? I helped us stop the ceasefire. And then all of a sudden we waking up the next morning to Iran and got hit by us. So there's a whole lot of trash that we don't know. So that's why you should know that this is some distracting stuff. Hello and welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and today we are looking at the plan that both Trump and Netanyahu put together earlier on this month, July of 2025, and how swiftly it has unraveled. In recent days, the carefully negotiated pause that was crafted by both Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, that was designed to keep Israeli military operations out of Damascus and Sweden, has completely unraveled. Just last night, the Israeli airstrikes again hit both regions amid renewed Druze-Bedouin clashes, killing civilians and military personnel in Sweden and central Damascus. There was just a recent report that showed Syria's defense ministry has called these actions shocking violations, prompting an internal probe by its interim government. Meanwhile, U.S. envoy Tom Barrack, he flew out in to mediate a fresh ceasefire, coordinating a Thursday meeting between Israeli and Syrian officials to stabilize southern Syria. The fallout within the Trump administration has been palpable. Senior aides described Netanyahu's unilateral strikes as reckless, with one unnamed official telling a company that he's become, quote, a child who just won't behave and a madman. That's a quote there. The White House says that Trump himself was caught off guard and urgently called Bibi to rectify the situation. Their concern isn't just the on-the-ground violence, but the political ripple effects, which began as a strategic diplomatic win for Trump. This could now completely unravel, undermining the United States-Israeli alignment and emboldening regional adversaries like Iran and Hezbollah. What we do know is that what was pitched originally as a major foreign policy achievement, you remember how they were just happy about it. They were all over the news. I even covered it here. It started as a foreign policy achievement, and then, it went on to be this thing where everybody thought it was going to be a ceasefire and a regional calm. Well, now this whole entire thing teeters on a collapse. Overnight violence has forced the United States back into active mediation, highlighting just how tenuous that Trump and Netanyahu understanding was, and how quickly it can unravel into a fog of complete conflict. Now, meanwhile, in a dramatic escalation of international legal and diplomatic pressure, of all people, Brazil has now announced that it will formally join the South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. Now, you may remember the original case filed by South Africa back in 2023 in December accuses Israel of committing acts of genocide during its military campaign in Gaza. And Brazil's move, confirmed overnight by a major news source, marks a significant shift, signaling growing support among nations in the global South for holding Israel accountable under the international law. The ICJ has already issued provisional measures requiring Israel to prevent genocidal acts and allow humanitarian aid, though it stopped short of ordering a ceasefire. Israel has consistently denied the genocide accusations, calling them politically motivated and baseless. This development comes at a particularly volatile moment as Israel's military conducted fresh airstrikes in Damascus and Sweda overnight, despite previously agreeing to avoid operations in those areas as a whole. If you remember when I covered the story a while back, at the top of July, they were at the end, I think it was like June 26th coming into July. But nonetheless, what they were saying was, oh, we're just going to do a little bit over here and a little bit over there, but we're going to mend all of this and we're going to take this part, but we're not going to touch that part. Well, despite previously agreeing to avoid the operations in those areas under a ceasefire framework negotiated in early July between President Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, these things have now taken place. And those strikes have drawn backlash not only from Syria, but from within Trump's own diplomatic circles. That U.S. envoy, Steve Witkoff, and senior officials reportedly expressed frustration over the way that they view Netanyahu's breach of their July agreement. This is totally unbelievable that these things are happening, fearing that it just might destabilize the region and undercut the gains from Trump's Middle East peace strategy. The combination of Israel's continued military actions in Syria and mounting international legal scrutiny at the ICJ has honestly created a dual front crisis, one playing out in the courtrooms and then the other one playing out in the battlefield. With Brazil's new entry into the ICJ case, the legal pressure on Israel is no longer isolated. This isn't just a small little concentration of people who wanted to say something. This is actually broader. It's becoming a broader movement altogether, potentially leading to real diplomatic consequences and policy shifts. While the whole political media continues to fixate on everything else that's going on right now, these two developments, one legal again and one military, represent the kind of global alignment that could quietly reshape the geopolitical landscape. And nobody is looking at this. Nobody is really forming any opinion about it at all right now. Now, I do know that there was the opportunity for Netanyahu to start the court case, and you may have seen a couple of situations in the very beginning where he had gone to court. There was a few little stories that I saw of him sort of hanging around, shaking hands with people and and all of this stuff. But what happened when he attempted to go to court? Well, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu was diagnosed with food poisoning, and that prompted him to go home and rest up for 3 days under medical advice. So the doctors then reported not merely from the operational achievements, but also from the future.
Lockhart Perspective.
Welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart. Today we are looking at Trump and Netanyahu. These two together are amazing. You see, there was a four-way telephone conversation between the United States President, Donald Trump, as well as Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and the Minister of Strategic Affairs, Ron Dermer. Now, according to a source directly dealing with the matter itself, after this assault from the United States on the Iran's nuclear installations, this conversation took place. And according to that source familiar with the discussions, they say that all of the participants expressed extreme enthusiasm regarding the B-2 bomber's mission results and were experiencing what the source characterized as euphoria. Yet the tremendous satisfaction among the four leaders derived not merely from the operational achievements, but also from the future strategic planning. President Trump and Netanyahu aimed to swiftly pursue fresh peace arrangements with Arab states as a part of the Abraham Accords expansion. Now, here are Now, this is the reason why I'm playing it, because this is what we need to keep our eyes focused on. This is what was talked about at the top of July 2025. This has not continued, and it will not continue. We're going to continue to have our faces pushed in the mud by the likes of this man, because he has a plan and an agenda that does not include what the regular Americans every single day think it should include. It doesn't have anything to do with helping to stabilize that region. You're the destabilizer. So everybody over here is scratching their head like, well, what's going on? Yet and still, have you heard anything other than about the babies that can't get the formula? You've heard that, right? I mean, you do know there are babies over there that can't get any formula, and the mothers are starving. So how you gonna make milk, mama? Those women in the chat, like myself, who breastfed, I've had 4 children, naturally children, right? I have one son who's my older son, but he's my stepson. He's my child. But naturally, I've had 4 children. And naturally, I have breastfed my kids. And I understand naturally that if I'm not eating healthy, or if I'm not eating at all, there is no milk that can come from my body to feed my baby. So now you got these babies out here that are not eating because their moms not able to produce any milk, but they can't even get formula in there. Do you guys realize that they're literally putting formula inside of bottles and putting them in the ocean in hopes that they get across there to them? I mean, it's symbolic in nature, but that's what they do. And do you guys really realize what it is that's truly going on with stuff that we signed our name to? This country has put their name on the line. This president has put our name on the line. Now everybody is looking. You gonna keep letting this go? It's like us seeing a fight that started in the middle of the schoolyard, and now the person who was just walking, holding their books, minding their own business, maybe they didn't get along one time before, but you got the bully got the cat cornered. And now that the bully got the cat cornered, the cat is walking, trying to get away, minding his own business. And then for whatever the reason, now somebody says, okay, well, he hit him. Okay, well, now the bully goes and he hits him back. Okay, so fine, everybody say, all right, that's straight. You had no business hitting. Okay, cool, you had no business hitting. But then this guy begins to not only annihilate the little guy with the books, he further goes deeper. Once there's nothing left to pummel that one with, then he finds all of his family members that go to the same school. He goes in, he gets the cousin, he gets the best friend, he gets the sister, he gets the little kids out of kindergarten. He beats them all up, stumps them all down. Do you realize that that's basically what's happening? And there's all these Christian people running around here saying they agree with that. Meanwhile, we're led to believe that this Tulsi Gabbard and this Obama and this Trump situation is such that needs to be dug out and needs to be unsurfaced. 9 years damn near later. I ain't saying that it ain't right. I ain't saying that we should not look. I'm not saying that we should not know. What I'm looking at is the timing. And what I'm looking at is the stuff that we did put our name on has not come to fruition. Who's going to hold this cat's feet to the freaking fire? I don't care who it is. And I don't care what scripture you use. Trust and believe. I've gone to school. I know the scriptures that you're using. And I also know who you ain't. So while everybody else wants everybody to just play nice in the playground and just get along, and when I see a bully, when I see somebody maybe even tag somebody and all of a sudden that person hits, even in the law here in the United States, if you take something to the 10th degree, you go into jail. Even if somebody hits you first and you go hit them back and you keep going beyond the point of being able to pull them off of you, if you continue, you go into jail. And yet, we're sitting here, hand in hand with this dude, loving every minute of it, saying, hallelujah, look at God, this is great. You uneducated individuals who think that you know the Bible and you do not. You better go educate yourself. I don't care what pastor you had. Baby, I had some of the best. I don't care what Bible scholar you know. Again, I've had some of the best. I get on here and I chipper and I'm happy and I crack jokes with you. But honey, when I tell you I know some stuff, I know some stuff. Y'all better get to know some stuff, because for everybody that's running around here applauding the actions that are going on over there while there is major just genocide of these babies, I don't want to hear nothing. Don't you come in my chat talking about God and Jesus and any of this other stuff if you still getting down with that. And you guys are clearing out of here right now. I see the numbers going down. We need your seat. You need to move. We need your seat. We need your space. If you believe that the stuff that's going on over there right now is right, and if you believe that the lies that are being promulgated right now and pushed into your face with your tax dollars are accurate, then there needs to be some time for you to sit down and perhaps go in your prayer closet and sit down and inquire exactly what is right and what is wrong. This is my public admonishment. Yes, it is. I admonish you. I do this right now. Because the truth of the matter is, okay, whether he committed treason or not, I'm not saying that he did, not saying that he didn't, not saying it's good or not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is what your tax dollars is paying for, baby, is wrong. That's what I'm saying. And I said it. I'll never take it down. I ain't rich, ain't got a coin to lose, baby. I don't live in a gigantic ivory tower. I ain't got a window pane to lose, sweetheart. You can't take me down no further than I already am. So I have no fear. I don't rock fear. I'm not rocking no fear over here. Not here. No. Wrong is wrong. And what we are allowing in the name of Jesus and in the name of Christianity and the name of Judaism and the name of oh, this is wrong. Somebody might go head on and dislike this strong enough. I don't care. You don't know me. And if you did, you couldn't hang. You don't know me. I don't care. What I do care about is where our attention is being driven to. And you have to understand something, that it has to be catastrophic in order for them to pull out the archives on you. You've got to understand that if they're pulling out their arsenal, and the arsenal is the archives, the stuff that could have been handled with his first administration, that the greater, heavier, weightier matter of a thing must be terrible. And I submit to you that it is terrible. It is terrible. We cannot allow our mouths to form sentences, to give any rights, authority, thumbs up to bloodshed. It's wrong. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. Wrong, and it's your money. Wrong, and it's your tax dollars. Wrong. And if that's what your belief is, and you feel like you can't be here on this channel, I have appreciated your presence. I have appreciated your contributions in my chat, my comments. I have appreciated you. But if you feel like there is a divide that you cannot stand, and you don't want to believe what I have as far as my core values are, that is fine. I need your seat. I need your space. But for those who know the difference between right and what is wrong, for those of us who rock between what's right and wrong, and we try our best to live up to that, and when somebody brings it to our attention, we admittedly say, you know what, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That, my friend, you're welcome. You are welcome. You can hang out here anytime you want. You can send me an email anytime you want. You can make a comment anytime you want. You are welcome here. But don't come here and talk about Bible scriptures and talk about a God that is loving and forgiving, and then turn right around at the same time and tell me that you agree with this. You cannot stay in my face. You cannot come in my face with no BS and expect for me to smile, whether we're in person, whether we're here, no matter where it is. You will never find me ever agreeing with you, regardless to who you are and regardless to what your positioning on this planet is. There will never be a time that we'll ever get down together. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You know that I do. I love you all so very much. But that is my response to this treason or politics. And my actual stance on this is the answer to that question is that it's actually politics. Or is there some evil things done that could have been, that could have been avoided, or that maybe, shouldn't have ever been done in the first place? Sure it was. Sure it is. But I think at the end of the day, it's politics. Why? Because Lock Her Up did a lot of treasonous shit. But Lock Her Up never got it. Never got locked up. And if you think they're going to take this cat down, when it could expose Lock Her Up and her whole entire team, including Wasserman Schultz, who's just now popped back up again, baby, you are sadly mistaken. Does it mean that these people don't deserve to have a nice little spot someplace? They might. More than likely, they might. But they all been kicking it at the same party together. Every one of them been at the same party together. If there was a wedding, don't you know somebody gave them a gift from the opposite side of the aisle? If it was a new baby, don't you know somebody bought a baby shower gift and gave it to him, honey? Don't you know that? Don't you know some of them cousins them? Everybody was unbelievably outraged when they saw Bush walk past and pet Barry on his stomach that day when they were at Carter's funeral. Oh man, did you see what he just did? Well, that was that's his relative. That's his godfather. They're friends. They're cousins. They're friends. They godfather, god daddy, god brothers, god whatever, cousin, uncle, nephew, them. Baby, they are family. And you sitting up here dividing yours because you choose to decide who's right in this case and who's wrong, who did what. Don't you understand what this really is? If you do not understand it, trust and believe me, I have got some beautiful, beautiful beachfront property sitting right down there, out there in Las Vegas right now on the Las Vegas Strip. You can make a great Airbnb out of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beachfront property. And I just want you to know that you can have it. Just inbox me and I will go ahead and I'll get it out there to you. I'll send you the deed. All you got to do is pay $1,000 and this beautiful beachfront property belongs to you. What's the matter? Don't you believe me? You've got to believe me. I'm telling you with all sincerity. With all sincerity. What's the matter? Michael Powell and hey, Black Spring. What's the matter? I'm telling you with all sincerity that I have this property for you and you can definitely take it. Beachfront property, Las Vegas, Nevada, right there down the street from Caesars, right there down the street from all of the famous, beautiful casinos, all the casinos. You got them right there. $1,000. It's yours. I'll forget it. Forget it because it's you. $850. That's my lowest offer. You're not going to get it better than that anywhere. Oh, what up? I ain't got no takers. What? Not one. Not one. Y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. Come on now, Teresa. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But if a person could get right in your face and tell you how they felt about this circumstance and spit all in your eyeballs, they would. That's how people are so insistent upon what they consider justice. Justice would have been handle this immediately. Justice would have been take the situation because it was serious and then let not only those individuals who are holdovers, because don't forget, he had a load of holdovers that first time. You and myself and probably everybody else here in this chat would have released every employee from the former administration's staff. their team, everybody would have been gone. Well, nobody really thought that was, something that, he should not do. No, he should have done that. It's the same way when I look back at how Clinton's wife came in. When he came in office, his wife cleaned house. Did I think it was wrong then? No. Just because it was the Clintons didn't mean that I didn't. I thought that was appropriate. Why would I keep anybody from the competitor's team? These individuals did nothing but destroy the entire 4 years. But don't you know, even that was done on purpose and with permission and following a script and a narrative that was created long before you ever got in the party, long before you ever knocked on the door, set your wedding gift on the table, and approached the entire body of people that were there at the wedding. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, in as much as I would love to agree with everybody who thinks that this is going to end in a certain situation, if it does, okay, great. If it does, that's great. That's great. But if it doesn't, then what? There was a lot of people that did things that I would consider treason. That you seem to be talking about that auto pen so much. Hey, I don't know, Fauci much. Would I like to Fauci much? You said the auto pen made his, pardon, his preemptive pardon of non-effect. Then Fauci much? I'm just being honest. I'm sorry. Because that to me, baby, you want to bring some justice? Go ahead and carry that out, but you can't. You can't. You just can't. All of this stuff started long before any of the people that you see now in office, or even before them in the last 20 years. A lot of these balls started rolling long before that, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Why? Because we're dealing with a regime and a group of individuals or entities that have had their marching orders since whenever. And whenever started, unlike other people, they take their marching orders seriously. And when they have a business plan, each individual on that plan, when the project manager rolls out each person's roles, unlike us, they keep in their lane and they rock their job description. That's the reason why we have the repeated issues going on and on and on and on. Every time you're about to have an election or a midterm election, you're going to find some civil unrest. It's going to be something happened to a black woman or a black man, and it'll be able to divide the whites. Or in another situation where they need Hispanic votes, then you're going to find something that goes against them, and then a group of individuals, because they've learned what works. And every individual that works in their gig on that whole entire team, they rock their position. They rock their position and they do their gig. They don't get in other people's lanes like we do. They don't take time lightly. They understand that there's a timetable. They have an agenda for this year. They got an agenda for 2030. They had an agenda for 2021. They have an agenda for 2050. They got an agenda, and trust and believe that since they started with these agendas, darling, don't you understand that because the project manager knows very well what the outline or the scope of work is, that each individual on that project will do what they are supposed to do. So don't think that it's strange that any of these things are happening right now. Don't think it's strange that any of the stuff that's taking place right now that had everything to do with 9 years ago, damn near. Think about that. Think about that. They had to get you off the trail of the list. They had to get you off the trail. I know you still want this. They had to do it. So every single thing you're saying is not by accident. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out with me for the past hour on this podcast, Treason or Politics, the truth about Obama, Trump, and the 2016 Russia intel. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys make sure that you take care of yourselves And make sure you already know where I'm going, that you take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, ain't nobody else gonna do it. We already been there. We already done that. We already know. All right. Love yourself first. And you can always love yourself by going to get some of this sauce. Peace. Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will.
Lockhart Perspective.